Yes. Chelsea, PSG. The first thing I'm a person may acknowledge two clubs. You share FIFA Club World Cup na 32 clubs. And no money na kushie say omo fight for just one trophy. Ya baba do this stage. Chelsea ni PSG akwa could do final. The first thing you need to do is to acknowledge two clubs in their performance, most especially Chelsea. Me pretty sure say among 32 clubs at FIFA Club World Cup no, PSG go final and said that nyanko fun wa bebre because of more recent performance no. But me sure say na all clubs and comfort form some be final nipa do anfa Chelsea anka ho. Enti mebo Chelsea abaso na mabo PSG for so abaso. E 6 different confederations and a copy mo ho and on the 32 clubs koi. Na 2 clubs we are final. I was say me ball mabaso. Obi bi o hwe football. Uyi emotions free ho, uyi bias free ho. And na ball na yebo ni sesi no. Chelsea ni, PSG ni. E so clear say ken PSG ya de say Chelsea sesi. Minimo bia obe argue say Chelsea was through Chelsea in print ya. Based on the kind of football yebo ni sesi. Enti mini nipa dodo na ya adwen say nyame ya adom a tina match be koso no. Team e friend say PSG and the favorite was a game with him. Eye no kre. Ball na ye bo no. Say Chelsea ntimi nka nche so ya de say PSG ya de say Chelsea. Enti Chelsea era game nim no eye PSG na ye favorite. And yes a PSG for players are omo Chelsea for no so bebre wo. In terms of individual qualities no, the gap between Chelsea and PSG no enye wide sir. By the difference e wo boku ni ma PSG was so say Chelsea no one collective play. Se PSG si akan na Chelsea si akan between these two clubs, the omu say well organized, understanding was through ye cat teamwork omo ti omo ho ase PSG bobuko no. So the difference ma PSG nkofo so me favorite was so say Chelsea no baako teamwork. PSG teamwork no was so say Chelsea. Se offer PSG bobuko na a proper tactical identity on the field. Someone say PSG for Siakanya, play according to a proper systematical order. Et PSG for Siakanya, say coach in Sanu or PSG team so. Say after Enzo Mares cannot so no gradually Chelsea players no tenacity. And between these two clubs, PSG for our proper tactical identity ahead of Chelsea. And a tactical instruction say PSG for Siakanya, say the coach na catch from no timi execute ni. It is our factors in the kabom and our because say PSG bobuko no I was so saying Chelsea because of the kind of football we display our group amaneso. So we are losing chain. Now na ro now be FIFA Club World Cup ne nko aye bo ne sisi ya. FIFA Club World Cup na aye koso no ye sha ase e besi ne no. O ka PSG ni Chelsea na o use metrics ahodo aye de analyze teams between Chelsea and PSG every metric e wo FIFA Club World Cup no according to PSG. In terms of big chances I are creating, PSG are creating saying Chelsea. On FIFA Club World Cup, when you're 24, Chelsea are 18. About big chances are PSG ahead of Chelsea. Teams are also goals between these two clubs or FIFA Club World Cup. PSG are goals saying Chelsea. So in terms of attack, PSG was also saying Chelsea or FIFA Club World Cup. So over defense, can them say FIFA Club World Cup, PSG are considered 1 goal. Chelsea are considered 5 goals. So in terms of defense, PSG was through. Say yen crab boy yen passing na enti every metric FIFA Club World Cup no according to PSG. Enti what the factors when you together, ubeti maka say PSG a favorite. Debi anu wasema meka. Say ye bebo game bia o the whole favorite. But ye she game na sia bibia timi sesa. That's the reason why ye tag say uye favorite and no nche say automatically we win game no. Ubetima ye favorite, but ye she game na sia nyoma timi sesa. Now wa ye favorite ni mpokra no wakwa kolusu. So enfa hu say PSG ye favorite no, untimi underrate Chelsea. Untimi take anything away from Chelsea. Untimi overlook Chelsea, say Chelsea ntimi nkoye bibia. So PSG ye favorite, but untimi underrate Chelsea boboko ni say Chelsea. Final no untimi ye bibia. E final game. Every final game. Yankobo bo a efe. Enye bo a efe, enye beautiful football. You make sure say take a moment. No aye the needful ni say ube make sure say ube defend very well opportunity ni ba no wetimi take opportunity no wetimi ahye enti PSG betima ko final akobobo na efe ni nyina ba wentimi antake ni moment na wo ye mistakes a Chelsea betima punish no. That's the reason why I say football na ye bo no ye bo final ye ko wini ba ye nkonkobo enti Chelsea de omu ra game nim no enyo mo na ye favorite PSG na ye favorite say obi akwa akohwe say Chelsea betima stop PSG boboku na and no question obi ebusa wo because PSG boboku a from this year eba no oche Liverpool no ahye Liverpool eliminate omo oche Arsenal no eliminate Arsenal oba FIFA Club World Cup oche Atletico Madrid no ama Atletico Madrid 4 UEFA Champions League no ama Inter Milan 5 oba ye waba be Real Madrid 4 washa Bayern 2 enti PSG ye teams akese na obo omo. So question akin obi ebusa ne say na me adom achina Chelsea ebetima stop PSG boboku na. That's the big question. The first thing I may expect to game ni no so you Chelsea fan can recently every final biano goalkeepers key final bi ayabo biano goalkeepers key. So say Chelsea betima win sa final we are the first point Robert Sanchez omu goalkeeper. So check Chelsea boboku na one of omu weakest departments omu goalkeeping department. Robert Sanchez otimiye some errors mistakes ahood will be I quote Chelsea final game who expected say goalkeeper ebe ma any best performance e through dia who expected say goalkeeper betima save it is a Chelsea betima win this game we are and was Robert Sanchez enya ni day sa okosoro eba forma PSG for the attack on be create chances no PSG betima beat Chelsea defensive line say PSG beat Chelsea defensive line na PSG attack no more create chances na goalkeeper ne so ye errors a e be disaster kese de ama Chelsea ene se wo bu se obi bi o football say ye bo final Donnarumma nie Robert Sanchez nie eduru dia a why na wo gidie so betima save the club a dodo na be ko de ama Donnarumma because of the way it is a final no be ko ye de ama Chelsea a the first point Abrante fan say Robert Sanchez say obenya ni day so nyani day a ebetima ko ye de ama Chelsea. Now you game ni analyze game ni proper. Kensa offer PSG boboku na omu ye favorite na. Omu coach Luis Enrique. Ne ball no boni nyina no or emphasize on nyoma miensa. One, a high intensity pressing. The etoso mienu a positional play. The etoso miensa a intelligent rotation. Luis Enrique adia opesa tembi ani team ne no. Na ne style na o use no oboba efe. Opeso control ball no enti ball na PSG for ebo say no enye the first time ayehu say a football club ebo sa ball ni bi since ball na PSG for ebo say ni yehu bia besi ne the style na PSG for ball no the first person na obeki sure say style of play we yen dominating play yen build it from the back only foundation no Jimmy Hogan in 1930s Jimmy Hogan invented this style of play no and the Netherlands for ni be so in 1970 and I'm making sure so on be ye I'm a reason net me accept it. That's the reason why from there you who say NS Harper you who so bit to say Cruyff aba Pep Guardiola yusu amene Luis Enrique ni PSG for yusu bia omo making sure say omo boba efe into the style of play of PSG the first thing your possession ukoshia PSG under Luis Enrique opeso possess ball no or say the players ni position ni huyi I was a time bia no making sure say ball no omo bobo no play no ebe ya attractive and to use the 3-piece football mu under Luis Enrique and PSG. So we 3-piece ni free wa. Time bi no person the game no ball ni be flow. And to fluidity the game ni. And what say players need to me express your ho. Omonya that freedom. Na ball no omo ball no efe. And so F miensa. And under Luis Enrique PSG for approach the P3F3 rotational approach. And no na say omo use. So who ko share PSG na mo almost style of player who kwa befa so a stop you and sa system no use no on the field of play on paper obeshe ni team ne 4-3-3 can't are you ready for me PSG for no on paper 4-3-3 no so omo ba attack bebre se omo attack a ne fullback no mostly say Hakimi Ashraf ana o mani ko nanim bebre se Hakimi Ashraf anko nanim anko overlap Amaduwe a movie insider or expect Hakimi Ashraf say oba beka midfielders na ho no way invert. The moment Hakimi Ashraf be ko nanim no na na kire ho aba back three no Vitinha ebe gino manim pe because Vitinha no ana be the controller obey the conductor obey chere direction ni nyina enti the flow any direction na PG be ba omo bo ni nyina no player oye anchor player be gina ne so pa no e ya brand friend say Vitinha. The moment Vitinha ni be stay deep obey try so be direct play no na brand friend say Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz eso a rotate position amoma push akomanim enti recently so what take you to say Fabian Ruiz penal otimi ko nanim bia na otimi koma goals because Vitinha obe stay na 3 players omo omanim no Doué Dembele and Kvaratskhelia omo ye 3 players are the strikerless system unye natural number 9 omo move omo rotate ene kwan omo fa so esi omo kan enti this style of play Emma PSG for create more Emma PSG for eshe goals a lot enti say what take omo nipa 5 omo omanim this season Ken Dembele am 35 goals. Ubenya Bakola am 21 goals. Kvaratskhelia am 8 goals. Doué am 16 goals. Gonzalo Ramos no bench am 19 goals. So 5 players we am 99 goals. PSG for 5 players am mudino. Am 99 goals because of the style of play omubo. The entire season am 64 games. Am 168 goals. And Chelsea kwa share team omu attack omu control game omu create and omu share enti kwan na so ana Chelsea befa so stop PSG. That's the big question. Chelsea ntimi enko dominate play ahead of PSG. E be dey say Chelsea beka so omu na be control more ball ni more as in PSG enti kwan na so ana Chelsea befa so stop PSG and Chelsea be win game no na Chelsea betimi enya the best Chelsea off ball movement. Chelsea kwan befa so defend no ana beti mama Chelsea win and ase on win enye kwan Chelsea befa so attack se okwa Chelsea team na definitely they will create on beti anya go by kwan be so no befa so defend and Nicky and se ukoshia Luis Enrique team ye wo kwan nyensa yefa so stop Luis Enrique team baako high intensity pressing baako se obesity deep na why very compact ana baako say ubebiem obo na so obo na wo create chances na wo dominate play. Enti saa kwan nyensa we no wo ye Chelsea fan abusa won say de na beboa Chelsea so mbetime defend ya Chelsea enko high intensity pressing na Chelsea NCT deep no mo nyusu counter break ni mfam beat PSG and as Chelsea mbiem no mo make sure some to be control ball ni bi saa nyoma miensa we de na beboa Chelsea pa Ken to me I don't see Chelsea say obebie game ni any PSG aboni toe to toe say Chelsea ebiem oh but me so me but me hu sa de nse be si o game by based on Chelsea materials no I feel say Chelsea will play so betima press PSG for the very well and some person press PSG for the very well PSG for the build it from the back team you build it from the back and some person stop in terms of pressing you use 3DL no 3 defensive lines the first defensive line I was a chance here from front 3 and it is a Chelsea betima press PSG for the very well. And what's the front 3 of Chelsea Football Club and I said the press and I say and sa front 3 no you most likely say Chelsea ebe yusu Joao Pedro Nkuku and Pedro Neto sa 3 players in the best as ya press say omo press ya and what's the one the intensity of omo pressing e was ro untimi nya soft pressing so person stop PSG because omo move ball ne quick and it is our person press omo man kasa half and what's the intensity no was ro the atosu mienu in pressing and what's the cover shadow ni SS me press PSG player no ye PSG ni no kra ball no on say huni nia na o mechi no enti usunsum na sa cover the one echi no and your friend the cover shadow so Chelsea use the intensity pressing and what's almost a cover shadow the moment on metima yes adie no players no more Chelsea e kire hot PSG e kire on say on be progressive ball no and the pressure beto omo so either say on be go back way a back pass sideways on be long balls and now some be lose possession. That's the first and the most important thing. The moment that Chelsea front three betima press very well no oh expect Chelsea midfielders and say on be close down Vitinha Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz penal and the duty of Chelsea midfielders in some best idea no that's the reason why I say oh yeah high pressing and was say a year coordinated well calculated timing and I'll be leave little space and it say Chelsea betima press very well and was say a chance here from any more for no say Chelsea to me a press very well ebetima boa Chelsea bobuku no and impressing e wo se mu nyina mo kabom e te se de mu pushika se mu ye nipa 5 na mu pushika na nipa mienu tu omo ho se omo mpushi a mu ntimi mpushi ni yi by se mu nyina mo kabom na mu pia de a mu ntimi pushi ni yi it is a Chelsea betimi akọ for the press na e be ye kwan a Chelsea team nyina betima press se Chelsea ka so on press obesha ase so obesity deep no allow PG for na build it from the back no must stop PG for from the midway and to be use the two defensive line. It means that Chelsea front line players on winning ho Joao Pedro, Nkuku, and Pedro Neto. Omba drop here Benfinfi. Omba drop Benfinfi omba beka Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo. Na Chelsea enya numerical a central numerical advantage. And to omba benya more players Finfi ho because already with 3 players on winning ho no omba drop and omba beka 3 midfielders no. And to Chelsea benya 6 Finfi ho. Se Chelsea person omo use sa compact block na in defending a compact block no e was making sure say we retain compactness se ukogu we chiro bebri na still na ni ntokro we chiro ha opponent ni betime biem and one reason why to dey be a Real Madrid for me defend wo mechiro won se players ni na egu achiro by opponent etimi biem ni say omo ntimi retain compactness and se o ye Chelsea na on press Obe allow PG for say omon build it from the back. Omon fan through metro and fambre anymore. But Obe stop you from the midway. Now why you close to defenders now? I also to retain spatial compactness and a player compactness. The space in between the players I was say you close. The space I Obe live I was to me avoid it. And it is a Chelsea be defended deeper. I was to me retain compactness. Can PG for a team omo space. Omo percent omo do omo passes in the creative chances. And team your pace space be and so person stopping now. You use the space oriented zonal marking. Space oriented zonal marking no the processor who defend here, player, ball by available spaces no who treatia. Et said the auto dame, where piano where piano who treatia auto. And it is available spaces in Yanu Kulusi because who could share PG. Kvaratskhelia pace space. Doué pace space, Dembele pace space, Hakimi Ashraf pace space. Even on more passes, passing lane now Vitinha and Joao Neves be use a space. And to the moment Tabe use space oriented zonal marking, who close all the available spaces. So ball need to mean back D zone. D zone is your danger zone. And two balls from the passable now around so by intimate bow half. A chance of close the available spaces. Chelsea being here sad. Now what your stories only Kukasan PG for the upper by the running. What say Hakimi Ashraf say Omu Rani Bebri. Team out the ball Rani Bebri no. Oh Markina, you're a player. Because or running or rotate or interchange position. And if I say me Adara be you, near some market Dembele. Dembele engineering one of my Kulusino. Obeko left, Obeko right into me, because me follow now. Me make that space our metro. PG for me to utilize it. And to say Ukoshia teamer, omo quick, omo quick feet, omo running with the ball, omo a lot of rotation and interpositional player. Who close your man? Now mark your man, yeshabo. Adiaba ko ebiti Real Madrid no. Rudiger eba player so a eye player no okọ he no enye ball no enti time ya ne se ball ni biti player ne pe afa ne ho by se ukohia PG team ni sesi a ye akwesi broni be kase ball oriented marking men hwe player no men hwe ne nan by focus on the ball position ne ba bi a ball ni be move ne ho na ade wa adwen be ko enti Chelsea be say hia ball oriented how won betimi stop balls no emma balls ni ntimi move. And the Chelsea be here side way you to stop PG Boboku no. No matter making sure say apply the principles of defending. One important thing of principles of defending is support and defensive cover. And the PG for the ring so you Dembele etimi fa ho, Hakimi Ashraf etimi fa ho, Kvaratskhelia etimi fa ho. Sir Reece James never bought the right back. Sir Kukureya never bought right back. Untimi nja adwuma ni nyina emfensi omoso. Ombe here support. Chelsea fullbacks in be here defensive cover. No make me stop PG for on the rings. By the key moments, the key areas, the midfield battle. Vitinha, Joao Neves, Fabian Ruiz, can among a technician. Omunimbo ni kura, omunimbo ni passe. Enzo, Caicedo, Kopama. Uyi Kopama through Caicedo ni Enzo Fernandez. Physically, aggression was through. And say two different style of playing you be who fin. Then how our Chelsea be continue rings no. And a game back on paper ken PG for no and your favorite. By say Chelsea to turn nyoma ye. No mo follow instructions. No mo ye discipline. Omo avoid the errors. Chelsea so opportunity. errors very important. PSG for ne press very well. And it's a Chelsea players new club ball. Na omo panic. No mo a lot of mistakes. A PSG for be punish omo. And Temo be right Chelsea off. Chelsea stay disciplined. A final game. Ken final game. And in final game, every detail is very important. But on paper, untimin take anything away from PSG. PSG for the favorite. By memo be right Chelsea for ne off.
Well, Kwame Jela on PSG. Aye Chelsea. As a game room you we will go my interview here. And as I say, PSG the best team. Nemum and will be a room for say a final. Final players be what being said final you do it is kakra BBHBC because a one of game. Your point.
Me cry the main cup final. Make us a one of games bia. We'll do our analysis based on previous occurrences. But the basic game in the mudi, we beat me, just like we were saying, one red card can change the game. One set pieces can change the game. And one decision from a player can change the game. And I agree. One of games a day. One of games a day. BBHMC. But one thing we are also forgetting to say, Chelsea knows how to play finals, yes. But the last final, yes, the PSG surprised all of us. They did not just win, they played well. Proper football. In Simon Common Ken. I mean, somebody wants to say. Aquafresh, Ken, Aquafresh, and then birthday.
Aquafresh.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, bro.
Indeed.
Aquafresh.
Yeah.
My age, my I am one of us. Aquafresh.
Solid guy.
Happy birthday, bro.
Okay.
Will be a pavilion will be as well.
Yeah, Pavi.
Okay.
I was so or doing quite nothing. Mammy Chan Yepa. Share Ken, that's and say. Football, growing up. There is a traditional concept to say, over a 3-man midfielder, you should have a tackler, you should have a controller, you should have a creator. A 3. What she said 4-3-3 bianoa. The traditional understanding of football is that one of your defenders, one of your midfielders, should be someone or bet the ball or attack it. Bako, I was so controlling game no demao. Bako, I was so a crazy chance at the mount. That's the traditional way of a 3-man midfield. Now, Ken, I dare to ask to say, how we define a traditional 3-man midfield? Vitinha, Joao Neves, Fabian Ruiz. Why an air tackler was our midfield? Because if you're careful and analyze the Paris Saint-Germain team, there are things we are as a soccer. And that is why it is important that Chelsea looks at these details. Because South 3 midfielders me won't naturally do a tackler, yet we say are the best midfield in Europe. Two, Chelsea we know say quite I say they are solid. Young ball. Uncle for no money natural tackler, yet they are the best midfield in Europe. Okay, let me take you back. 2014-2015 season. Luis Enrique team noa a Champions League with Barcelona. Sergio Busquets was around there 26 at time. No. Javi Hernandez were 35. Iniesta no were 31. That midfield plus Ivan Rakitic kakra played well, controlled game from Kankring to Kankring, won the Champions League. So ask yourself, say, and then Luis Enrique that traditional way of 3-man midfield, on they need natural tackler, yet we say his teams play well, they control games well, they have the best midfield. Debbie. Debbie. Yet, the team will be higher, say, the team now the best midfield.
He was out fine and Obo Rakitic, Obo Niesta,
Busquets,
and Obo Busquets, and Meja Vitinci.
Ask yourself why. Let me give you similarities. Sad team, you know. Now, a son say, coach, you know, what realizes say the midfielders, no, they cannot tag the ball, you know. Only to mean tackle baby, you know. The idea was that goalkeeper Jibola, make sure you are looking at Jordi Alba or Dani Alves first. Inti Saboni Bedi, right fullback, left fullback, quickly they get the ball to the forward place. Neymar, Messi. Okay. This Paris Saint-Germain team, the goalkeeper Fabua, attack him. It goes to either Hakimi or Nuno Mendes. Hakimi get the ball to the forwards, Itai Doi, Dembele, or Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Emubako. Mebwa. Isn't it another similarity? Say, Saba Satimino, they had Dani Alves and Jordi Alba, who were at that time the best fullbacks in the world. And they, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, the best fullbacks in the world. Mebwa. There seemed to be some line of how Luis Enrique, Nenema and Abasa, and the Oye Nisisi. Now, and I say, Yamia Duma, or China game no shasia. Saboni di Donnarumma wa. And Pempi ni somo ya mo build up. Bonsa Hakimi we biem. Now Nuno Mendes ebie, but most times he's looking at Hakimi first. Now enemy feel say if Chelsea are not careful, they will start the game wrong. And let me explain to you why. Okay? Pressing woman. Something you do consistently. And what perfect. You cannot use 1 game, 2 games, 3 games and find perfect pressing. See here, a repetitive action. The more you do, the more you understand, because are there a coordinated there? One player, one mistake, the entire pressing game off. Now, Sanapar Yamia Duma game no chance, no PAG for no for ball. No say Chelsea, send Yesaki can go and press them, go and press them. If they do press PAG for, can we show them at Chelsea? If they go all out, in fact, I'm not too sure it work. And let me give you 2 examples. Mame, Madrid game, no, and I said by when they start showing me pictures. I mean, me more 2 examples of the game. Can where your PAG versus Bayern Munich? You had Hakimi and a body bedini ho, and a Bayern Munich for air core pressing to say, "Oh, go and press them." The PAG for no press or more betting ya. Then quickly they all went to them. Can you share television as well? I'm pressing on one Bakola mobile far ball from the middle. And nobody come. Maybe I will share me better and be pasha. Okay. Move on to the next game. You share the next example. PAG Real Madrid. Infonia me we and the other one, and you're the same thing. Hakimi gets the ball, you press them, then one of their attackers drops. And now I'm about picking the 1-2. Into 1-2 pass no call ya where you place in frame. So go back to the first example and show this example and see something. Can't score you. Share first one, no. Against Bayern Munich. Can't ball anybody Hakimi wa. It drops you inside. Now, waba no more ball no they are 2. Okay. Young call the next one I had here. Inti what pressing your coordinated now 1 mistake ba. Then PAG for any more numbers. Chain or the can't next one. When you more numbers, a chain or the attacking phase. This is against Real Madrid. We end of this year, third goal. Call the next one against Bayern Munich. So another example, so the same thing. This is against Bayern Munich. Also, so when your numbers are more attacking Bayern Munich, it me feel second. Pressing is not the only way you can stop Paris Saint-Germain. If Chelsea gets their pressing game 100%, I mean, no problem. But me not sure say it's 100% sir. Because you can start your pressing game well, but how are you going to do that for 90 minutes against them? It's my solution for these things. They say, look, Chelsea can be more compact, and that will be more reliable than going out full out to press Paris Saint-Germain for. Because PSG team, you know, now one day empire day. Sure, Luis Enrique team I'll build you a Barcelona. No, now one day. Messi not on your speedster. Neymar not on your speedster. Sao their strengths not a dribbling. This team, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Desire Doi, Dembele, their strength is what pace. Until space. And see, if you look at the profiles, then you begin say, and if I want to map up a strategy against them, what do I do? Because a winger, now one day by a dribbling, I need to get close to him. Remember, I told you the video yesterday. Send your and then I can't ball, no, you are always close. But sa winger, no, so now one day by a make a tour. Then you have to watch the space. You see, profiles, then make sure the kind of way you should defend. If you are defending against Desire Doi, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, you are looking at the spaces. Because Obia, now one day, a space in the as a vampire be, Nebiane Yemoja. Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Nebiane, they always space an obo. Desire Doi, always space an oko. Obo. So why do you want to give them space? Who pressing be too higher? More defenders so bow with him because I coordinated. Intercessor who bow with him. Now wait a high line there to a cheat. And this Chelsea should prevent it. Because Chelsea need defenders. Mesa, Chaloba, Levi Cowell, Person and Darabia, yo, whoever plays, you know, any defenders you can rely on them fully. Person, Levi Cowell, Chaloba. Game on one bopa, a game with Chelsea, a compact, which you know, so utilize your player strength. See, first of all, Chelsea needs to draw their defensive line. Point number 2. A chill of one.
Chelsea's strength.
Yeah, about
how much in the handle that Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto. Yeah, about Ken. Chelsea build up. Anyhow, PSG for press. PSG for strongest assets. How Dembele starts the pressing. Now against Inter Milan, Dembele press ya ma Yan Soma a baby not okay Dembele say ya. He was surprised. And now Thibaut Courtois said the same thing. Because Obebo goal kicker, send ya kwana si be gina line so ha nani na all show no. Dangerous. Now one thing about Dembele's press, which is very interesting and unique, they say Dembele almost straight away. Coach, you know, in fact, before the game, he will tell you what to do. Into Dembele person, no, either say or quite diagonal into another force. So I'm one pass. One person will pass. For instance, let me give you an example. About the Chelsea team, he analyzed the Chelsea team. Defender Ben Aboni Bedinwa or you're uncomfortable. Say a Trevor Chaloba, okay, and the Dembele, what press ya, make sure say goalkeeper and for ball name Levi Cowell. Force the goalkeeper to give the ball to Trevor Chaloba. See, that is how the game is. See, say, I am here Dembele here and the pressing and Yami Aduma game starts here. But not pressing motion ye. He does not go direct. Or be caught baby. Or be force one more possible on the diaco. See, quite more fast so a pressing are very dangerous. Now let's analyze and open up the game. Say Chelsea, first of all, say Chelsea here build up. Robert Sanchez or Pasiana. Because the build up starts with the goalkeeper. Chelsea, they've been very fortunate to say tournaments where I Chelsea build up will be a 3-2-5. 3-2-5. It has always been like that. But it sounds like opposition no answer that strong into no. The last 2 games, Chelsea are alternate system now in 3-1-6 because the opponents do not press them. This is going to be the first game. Chelsea be about opponents and be press on pa. Robert Sanchez, I'm passing in the king. And I'm not comfortable with tossing Adrabio on the ball if he's being pressed by Dembele. I am also not comfortable with Levi Cowell. around the ball if he's being pressed by Dembele. If Chelsea a for no, or when you're too comfortable if you press them, then there is no need to be passing the ball from the back every time. Sometimes they need to go long. Now, so how long conversation and now me feel say maybe I'll answer a question about Pedro Neto. Ken, look, the reality woman say PH4 weakest point here Omuchiro. Meka Omuchiro me the Hakimi ne Nuno Mendes ebe kan waka some dia Chelsea. Hakimi, coach na man unique role, free role number 2 one man chance so to me rotate bia. It's most times or banitia or check akra. And that is quite normal because so inipa. Na meka sa de sisi say Marquinhos, Lucas Barado, if you attack them well, omobre. Game a season we team PG4 Brepa was the game against Aston Villa, second leg, you know. Now, it is a Chelsea back longer. I feel say Pedro Neto, Joao Pedro will be very crucial in this game. As I said, by this time, coach, you know, I'm too born in the mouth Robert Sanchez. So Robert Sanchez will be pressing on ball into space. Because Marquinhos, the ball, if you more better. But if you put the ball at 2 space, Pedro Neto was American one, or makes me a head to you see, meaning how Robert Sanchez is going to do that because he needs to be very accurate. So, long, no one money ye, na Marquinhos, more far ball, no pet. Then Bona Sans Abbey Paris Saint-Germain or for na omo now. Now, Ken. Menya. What about Pedro Neto first 9? Now, I was thinking about this. Joao Pedro on the left. Maybe Kopama as number 10. Na wrestling, okay, maybe Nkunku so fine. Because as I said, Chelsea now runner a winning ball. Marquinhos more near comfortable with players to make a baby.
Marquinhos said you'll be attacking.
I am so
comfortable.
Very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Who's this so strong with you?
Yeah.
We don't know possible, but pressure ban is for you.
Pressure ban is for your mistakes. And so I make us say, man, analyze it on one more. So that is their weakest point. If that is the weakest point, sir, I will say Chelsea you'll be able to make. If Joao Pedro is going to run, no problem. But Pedro Neto, he's been consistent to say Ochumi Kabebre. There has to be I can. I feel say Chelsea should utilize set pieces. In terms of gameplay, it looks like it's going to be very difficult. But Chelsea set pieces ever play crucial role in game way home. Because set pieces essence game momentum. PSG might be playing very well. If Chelsea gets one corner, one free kick, or Bobo Nisha, momentum necessary. That is how football is. In these set pieces, Chelsea would have to take advantage of it because Chelsea, Tosin Adarabia yo owa, Levi Cowell owa, omo players are Bono enem yema, omo power umbetimiabo. So one advantage is that. Nakin, Sanka Romeo Lavia bebo boni bia. I would say Chelsea for be handle go for ne kakra. Because man Enzo Maresca game na how bonnet o shut half team will be anwa obo Romeo Lavia no obo Moises Caicedo no the Enzo ato number 10 no the Copa Mako wings wo entesa okay so Romeo Lavia mo boni bia o tabo Rhys James e won fifi obi inti ekoya me to say and I fear for Chelsea if they do Moises Caicedo Enzo me not too sure. I'm not too comfortable with that. Maybe we are going to see Rhys James, Moises Caicedo. Now Enzo as a number 10, maybe Kopama on the wings. Now Malo Gusto, I'm not too comfortable with him, but the reason why probably coach would want to allow him play in the pace.
Okay.
Which is very important because central defensive area with Chelsea was very important because I wanna Dembele on more as a number 9. They be or dropper. No, a better ball. I know a tendency. That double pivot for Chelsea, you're very important. Whoever plays, hey, baby, I make sure walk a crack. Last one, Nimsa Ombre. Timer, coach in the bar, and Louis Enrique bar PH, one of criticisms are near the man say, PH for first half of Monyade. They were struggling to score goals. Into the first 19 Champions League games. 19 Champions League games. Now PSG for 13 of them, first half no much go. So, then the criticism got to the coach. And also best son. Okay. The last 17, 9 of them, you started your first 20 minutes or so. Now, I'm not going to go deep. And I know against Inter Milan, Hakimi go there by time being 12 minutes. And I know against Atletico Madrid, Fabian Ruiz go no the same time. And I know against Real Madrid, Fabian Ruiz go no about time being first 20 minutes. Ken, say ya to quite no. Na say a Paris Saint-Germain na ebe starting game no. Some nyina ma mu say na PSG for starting game no. Onwe ya no ma bobo na dey true. Quickly na afei omo ba be go one area no ma start omo pressing game no. It is your first 20 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain is very important. If Chelsea do not start the game well, because you cannot chase PSG 1 or show 2. Now, because after no be chasing game no, you end up losing the game 5-0. Me pa chote me common ase. It is better say who Chelsea who be share. Na PSG for number when so we are coming to score. I want to grab what Chelsea say. Chelsea can defend. Now from a catch on a counter break. But some PSG for the show early in the first 20 minutes. Now workers okay after them be a big game no more bar. One when you na uncle yan farm. So first 20 minutes very important. No need for Chelsea to be opening and doing pressing. Sir, absolute pressing. I'm not sure because Chelsea cannot be consistent without pressing for 90 minutes. Chelsea should stay compact because Trevor Chalobah, Levi Colwill, Cucurella, Ray James, Moise Caicedo, so I'm a bob a timer system. No, I'm a Chelsea. I am more compact. Chelsea can hurt Paris Saint-Germain via counter attacks. If Chelsea opens up, all my spaces at H. Come on, best PSG for be sure.
And no, Adolson, and so Etienne, no big bra, you are a buffy now, your baby didn't come over. Big, can say, what could be Yamia don't be a book of boys. Trust me. Can Prime Minister work a lot about the Paris Saint-Germain Chelsea game. Okay. I dear back up, and I make her farm, no matter that story. So, Coach Bia on a philosophy, Mejitumsa. There are a lot of coaches in the system now. I feel that the best way to defend is to attack. Because when a lot of the balls are ultimately hurting. But then again, there are also coaches who feel say the best way to defend is also to defend and defend very well. And me feel say against Paris Saint-Germain, say open results, CCR. The best way to get the results is to defend and defend well. Make us because in 2025, every January, Paris Saint-Germain in all competitions can lose 5 matches. 5 matches now PSG losing no. E mu be anyone more team no any PSG boy no or dominating Paris Saint-Germain or the winning here. Derby. Omu jaima Paris Saint-Germain bo. No more defending omo lines e defending here. Paris Saint-Germain lose to Liverpool. Liverpool bought 30% of the game. And Paris Saint-Germain bought possession bought 70 or lose here. About to Aston Villa or Lucy 3-2. Aston Villa bought 34% of the game. And Paris Saint-Germain bought the Akano. Nice. Paris Saint-Germain Lucy to Omo. About 24% only of ball possession. Strasbourg about 36% against Paris Saint-Germain. And after team my friend say Botafogo, Ken, our club World Cup anymore. And so share Paris Saint-Germain 1-0. Or share PSG 1-0 no. And also ball only 25% of the ball possession. And or winning 1-0. It is a Chelsea per results against Paris Saint-Germain. They have to make sure. So we be defend your lines. No more defend it very well. And they beat me the results and I break Chelsea. Okay, moving on. Club World Cup, no, there are teams that are very Real Madrid is one of those teams. And there are certain decisions I can't want some more. Coach, a friend says Abi Alonso. Baba be taking sad decisions in this year. Decisions now, coach, and Baba be taking, certain positions. Madrid team. We talked about it the last time. Say the left back position. One of those positions. It's almost Club World Cup, no. Now player friend say Frank Garcia enim say you justify your inclusion and okwa so person will stay e Real Madrid bobo ko ni no nya bi bot time obiara Abrante any call Club World Cup no he was one of the best performers for Real Madrid
wan fa nya akwadro wa yi ni yema bobo no aboni yie pa e dia Madrid boboko no Madrid the film Ferland Mendy enya opportunity amba club world cup ni because of injuries and the coach na ntimi assess no but still the coach has to take a decision say between Ferland Mendy and Frank Garcia obeyi mu baako say oyi mu baako a looking at ball na Frank Garcia akwa ball club world cup ni no e be ye den so obeyi Ferland Mendy ahead of him and the coach na decide say obeyi see the oba beto ye e wo Real Madrid boboko ni any the odi na nie hu and odi be take this particular decision the oba beto ye ne den obeto e Ferland Mendy a one year fit and farmer Real Madrid last season Ferland Mendy in the Spanish La Liga ebo be 14 matches and the Real Madrid boboko no injuries have branch any throughout the season and the coach ni gidie so branch any betimi aye fit no stay consistent the Real Madrid boboko no that is number 1 number 2 Ferland Mendy na ye di ne ho nkomo no a lot of people forget that akwada ni mfie so ko animu Ken Ferland Mendy was 30 years as a footballer and the coach Xabi Alonso feel say so be pick Ferland Mendy there obe trade on ni mum a player injury say ha no what 30 years obe mo mu ni mum akọ no afa Abrante friend say Frank Garcia who is 25 years no afa Alvaro Carreras and so the naka ho 22 years relatively age e wo mrante mienu we side e chan Ferland Mendy no and share that enjoy a very good game and as a good games before coach na eba na injuries into so ha no na nkomo Abrante so akọ di say obe person obe tena Real Madrid boboko no fighting for a position he feels say defensively or very solid and the the left wing back na onya bi mo a na dwen ya ne say obetimi anya the left center back position and so about the Real Madrid boboko no pen komo ne namfofo akọ di but then again me so me tena ase a me hweye edi nkomo kakra ye nhwehwemu kakra no me feel say akwada ni position no person about the left center back so about the center back role you need a bit of height Real Madrid defenders ni nyina uyi Frank Garcia na uyi Cavaja every one more omo maka ni nyina obi a tenten anasa ne height e was so the chain Ferland Mendy there it's that kind of mindset akwada no so anya no ne height e be a problem and so the amano it's quite unfortunate say e bia na coach ni decision o baba be take ni there Ferland Mendy and Madrid akuma no e be ka no amana free the left back position no make you way for other players o mo betimi aba no baba be bo moving on say Chelsea boboko ni ready so beton Nicholas Jackson no come plans on Chelsea have to tell the world say Abrante no on tom na mo come plans on me can wait because yen set player price tag keke just because player na ni na wa bobo bia keke dia to player no so there be you look at the performance of the player quality of player and the back on board on and even off the field and never be bring account to that player na nkasa uyi ball na obonu ni free one more who turn player na ye to not all turners in say oh make a move na mum just sales any a lot of things and ohasha ne mani nyina now they are pricey player no Nicholas Jackson season that ebowie ye no open the top 20 scorers in the English Premier League now Nicholas Jackson and Kanken he wasn't part among the top 20 scorers in English Premier League. There are other players among your number 9s. They have numbers that play a friend Nicholas Jackson. In Mbuemo is a typical example. Yan Wisa is an example. Yenya Chris Wood no almost your number 9 so more de money konkan. Alexander Isak no. Any other players are only extraordinary season in English Premier League. But a lot of these players, prices are yet for around 50 to 70. It is why I was going to over Nicholas Jackson. Now over 100 million. Me ametia no me feel say when you ready so beton Abrante no na mum kana untimi nkan kire wiase it Chelsea nya firm on their decision say Nicholas Jackson is a striker o mo ne pe na Abrante ne ka o mo plans ho o mo nya ready so o mo ton Abrante no enso amanako o mo kana sa wiase nyina beti ase na o mo ye interested na stay off than say o mo dey an outrageous price tag £100 million and they to Abrante friend say Nicholas Jackson so because the price tag it was too much for suitors some be ready some be baba be far branch no Ken I am very happy say and now ma me hu ye and as all ma ye hu ye say team my friend say Barcelona officially omo coach my friend say Hansi Flick e shia e goalkeeper Andre ter Stegen and in a di komo aka train playing say you run a season more on your part of the plans e Barcelona boboko ni previously na Abrante ni didi nkomo won chen say ono ne de onti obi a case because Barcelona mpanifo no omo ye adwuma no obi antimi man na mu mabie na no enka nche de say onka omo plans ho ɔbɛte nsɛm bi a na ɛyɛ radio so ɔbɛte nsɛm bi a na ɛyɛ TV so ɔbɛte nsɛm bi a na ɛyɛ newspapers mu the various tabloids emu na ɔba bɛte nsɛm sɛ basa nyɛ ready so ɔne ne bɛyɛ adwuma but de bia meka sɛ sɛ asɛm fo obi ho na sɛ wɔn bɛn nipa ne nka nkyerɛ na deɛ nipa ne bɛte wɔn nkyɛn bi ɔno ne pa na ɔde yɛ adwuma nti officially mpanimfoɔ ama coach na hyia player na ɔma ka kyerɛ ne sɛ yɛwura the new season mu a ɔnka ɔmo plans ho nti now you have to take a decision upon deɛ wayɛ de ama Barcelona nyinaa ɛnyɛ wei na ɔba bɛgyina so de asɛ wo legacy for the Barcelona club. You've been a long servant for Barcelona, a very good one for that matter. What Boama Bobo Kona Jim Crew Abebre? Ababa do that kind of stage. Abasa few say, baby, I'm a person of direction or more. I'm going to be one to ask on course direction no because the Obey Diama Bobo Koni in a wire dear way. The Kofa Wanga Siaba. Our Baba Bay number 1. Chesney every renew the contract. Our Bay number 2. It is open opportunity in Paul Barcelona Bobo Kodimoa. You are going to be the third choice. And the menya sure say it befitted the standards of a Ter Stegen. Performance are what Dinedy. The consistency he's had in his football career. Any idea no? Say Aqua Kobasa was so free Bobo Kodim because I'm to see other players over you. This is the time the player has to leave. Man in Barcelona Bobo Kodim say chinchina time. Only baby ako. Say now won't say it. And until now take that decision now. Now officially I approach you akacho. Say a juma na ye baba be project na ye be obasa no. Ye ntimi mfa won kan ho control won kan ho biem. Eti afi wo so si form. Every bas na Barcelona Bobo ko ne to aso a onsi. Man in bekini chinchan. Na legacy na wa build wo Barcelona no. On fa due few months and after days. En fan say that legacy our build wo Barca. Ken we a story about Samuel Morudion. And he's one player. Anytime I hear about him, I get very happy. I get happy because nipa kakra bi na betimi atọ form wa abrabom. Not due to whatever circumstances. I am someone more tough from no. Oma overcome some circumstances. No more sorry. Ejina omo na so say omo be fighting, no more getting back to the best of form. And after whatever they were doing. Abrantia will see so. I was Spanish La Liga from Granada. And onya opportunity. And Atletico Madrid kotono. Atletico Madrid tono na no de ma alone to Alaves. Sa season one she goals bebre wala Liga ni no cre. But no na Alaves top scorer with 8 goals in that season. It will share 8 goals man Alaves no. And then Nika Krabano. Chelsea went in from Okako Abrantia no. He is a player not Chelsea supporter be awofu. So I'm peno because I'm feel say akwada na nya ne more dey mon konkan. And now ultimately blame the Chelsea supporters because at that time na Chelsea feel say based on strikers some about team ne call in the past and come deserve a better striker than Samuel Morudion because no a player only the Spanish under 23 team Ako Olympics not a bench for the under 23 ono na no mo kwa fan so starting for Chelsea na supporters ne mpe obey medicals for Chelsea and a buy say epra e wa Abrantie ni kotodwem and na Chelsea supporters ni na bo say because yempe and na buy epra sa ba be dan ho adi and ye danyame asepa akwada na bebambo he granted an interview say one of the worst times in the career. He's had a bad season after saying and making that move at Tiatum. But since he went to FC Porto. They give him the opportunity. Season year came open one of the best players in the Portuguese league account. The only player who goes to channel Jokeres. On a Pavlidis, Obiacha 19 goals. Omumian Naneda Jokeres. Even Pavlidis played more matches than Samuel Morudion. Pavlidis bought 34 games and Morudion bought 30. But yet on any goals to pay. Aside and in the Europa League, where make us a second tier European competition, big players, Ekwakoshia or Nobiacha and Modemono. Abrantie was among the second top scorers in Europa League. Bruno Fernandes, SH 7. Kasper Hogg, SH 7. These were players who almost share goals. And the chair Abrantie Fernandes Samuel Morudion. Or share 6 goals in Europa after playing 9 matches for your FC Porto. It's upon their 2 nini na Abrantie na bemuemu. We're making sure so big Jinan now so no fight it to get back to the best of form. Now after say he's a good player no or and he's done that very well. This is the stage in this one relente. Is to maintain the status when you get to the top. So we do through one in the problem. But what drew through one when the consistency of the stay was raw and a problem. It's now unproven Chilobia. Say one season wonder and a winner. Nemo is ready to take over European football at the top level. Just to prove those are not doubting or no wrong. Say he's a good player, Ken.
There's also a friend Kahova, yeah,
yes. Yes, sir, or Nigerian, and the chrome dino no. It was decided so the non benantia. It is good. Unforce it, Nanyaman Konkaimano, because I'm very, very happy for him. Anytime I hear good news about the player, Ken.
And the baby didn't come over. Enzo cry, young common Enzo Basula. Nina Justice Billy, and when I can come over to appeal, the baby didn't come over and sweat your found. But and then when your report said, wouldn't send that we let me celebrating it.